There's also a possible PL that you can pick against an Invoker. That's a terrible matchup for him.
So
Death
maybe
Prophet.
like a Dazzle, some safe support here.
Or they could go with Moon's Bat again if they want to in this. But I mean, it's a fairly...
OG is one of the teams that actually hasn't... I don't know if they've played Jungle Beastmaster yet this tournament. Moon may jungle the Beastmaster, but they've never really committed to
a 4 position.
A 4 position playing the hero like many other teams have done.
If you pick Beastmaster Bat, it reveals a lot about your lanes as well.
Definitely. The great thing about an early Beastmaster is it can be an offlaner or it can be that 4. So you can kind of wait and see how greedy you can get and then choose your offlaner based on that.
So I'm expecting NewBee leaning towards the Death Prophet with the second pick here. With the Air Spirit especially, there's a lot of kill potential mid on almost any hero.
Against the Beastmaster, you mostly it's kind of similar to Bounty Hunter. You just kind of want to group up and push. Death Prophet would be a great hero for that, having some tower damage. Tide Hunter's a good counter, or they can take the game late and maybe go with like a Night Stalker who's always been... He kind of trumps Beastmaster's vision game.
It was actually in the group stages, by the way. They had 2 IO games in a row, lost both of them here, and 1 at Epicenter, which they also lost. So even though they've banned it every game, they've actually beaten them with it every game.
Maybe we'll see it in the grand finals.
Strong possibility if they get back there.
Another big hero that has been seen a little more priority in this series is the Lycan. Got second stage banned. They could push really hard if you're talking about 5 banning. That's a strong 5-man hero.
It's a decent with the Beastmaster as well.
Generally, the way we've seen teams try to deal with the Lycan is just like crush his lane. We saw Fnatic going for the Darkseer Axe combo yesterday and just try to run him over.
Right.
Still ended up losing.
But how many times have we seen OG pick up No-Tails hero first? I feel like they always save it for 4 or 5.
And it's Elder Titan, so something totally different here from OG.
Yep, it's going to be a dueling offlane for OG, most likely. Pretty strong. Earth Spirit, like we talked about, isn't the best tri-lane hero, so we can expect it almost to be a 2v2 matchup for the most part. And Elder Titan and Beastmaster are just almost impossible for any support to deal with, so they're going to need to pick a really strong hero for How and lane, and hopefully get Kaka to rotate on the Earth Spirit and pick up some kills.
So who's ideal here? There's like Weaver, Juggernaut.
Not necessarily certain. I don't really like Weaver too much against Elder Titan. You need heroes that can pick up, like Lycan is great.
Okay.
Anyone that can build like a Vlad's and AC are generally preferred against Elder Titan.
You'll be taking their time with this one.
Juggernaut's okay too.
Yeah, last time they pulled out the Spirit first, they went with the Void.
Okay.
That would be kind of a weird pick. I wouldn't be a fan of that here.
I think that is... It's a little strange as well. I also think we'll see that Elder Titan camping mid a lot. The last time they picked that hero for crit, basically sat mid through his Spirit constantly on the other hero, just stomping all over the place.
Oh, it might be a really, really good game for Chuan's Enchantress. I think we should look out for that second phase.
All right, so low cooldown heroes here for NewBee. Heroes that come online pretty early. Very good at just like the chaotic, spread the map offense in the mid game. Hawk could be really big against this NewBee draft if they're able to see them coming. Also, they do have the Spirits. They have 2 good vision-based heroes to potentially scout out what NewBee are doing.
Yeah, it's low cooldowns all around for both teams right now.
A lot of fighting.
Last time they played Batrider against OG, they went with the Spectre.
Ooh. I don't think Spectre's going to cut it. I think their lane will be way too weak. I think they need a How hero that helps secure the lane.
They also had a Darkseer and a Tusk in that game, so it was quite a different game.
So the Death Prophet, not too surprising, does get banned out here.
Expecting the Invoker ban as well?
I mean, if Elder Titan's okay, if they want to sit a mid, I think they could potentially run the Invoker. But if you're not going to give him help, or if you're planning on helping the Beastmaster, then that's a lane NewBee might look to roam on with the Earth Spirit.
Has Alchemist been touched in these drafts?
I think he was banned in the first game or the second game?
First game, second phase, I want to say.
NewBee ran him once against Call. And
it's definitely here you need to look out
OG not running the hero at all.
Well, we definitely know they play it. I think I've seen No-Tell and Miracle play it. So
yeah, this is just their last 10 games, but not a go-to by any means.
We scrimmed a bit against OG. It's definitely there. For OG, though, I think they don't really have that healer type yet, so that might be something they look forward to. I think Juggernaut is a really, really great pick against Earth Spirit.
Yeah. Juggernaut was ran in their lineup when they had Elder Titan before as well.
Good Miracle hero.
If that was actually No-Tail playing it.
Okay, I've seen them run it on Miracle too, so. Definitely a team that can switch up the lanes depending on what matchups they're looking for.
Yeah, and that's the advantage of No Tail finding his own form now. Before it was, you sort of just all in on Miracle, focused him.
It's really been the story of this team going deep this turn has been No Tail stepping his individual game up, and the team also just setting him up for success.
Yeah, the way they won Frankfurt was that everybody stepped up. Like Moon and
Moon went crazy on the Earthshaker.
Yeah.
I feel like Moon hasn't been quite as explosive this event, but he's been solid enough. We'll see the AA ban. So damage that you can follow up the lasso with. And this game, I think AA would be much stronger because they already have the Earth Spirit to apply pressure.
The Earth Spirit and the Bat Rider, who have shorter cooldowns than the Void's Chronosphere.
Yeah.
So it could fit in a little bit better there. But
maybe suggesting looking to push.
Yeah, it's also going to enable whether they want to pick that Dazzle or the Juggernaut.
Or both.
Yeah, or both. Or they could even Dragon Knight middle for them could be an option, and AA kind of works decently well against that hero.
Okay, so they've removed the Dazzle. The Invoker is open.
Yeah, Venge, Dazzle, and Phoenix are banned, so that kind of changes things for Fly. I'm not sure exactly what hero he would go to here.
Could Witch Doctor?
I've seen a Witch Doctor.
They played an awful lot of Witch Doctor.
Disruptor is an option. Disruptor is pretty good this game against Earth Spirit and Bat Rider, but I think they lost the game he played Disruptor, so they might not be super comfortable with it.
So after all that, to protect the Invoker pick, they do go for it. But I like the way they didn't rush into it this game. They kind of set it up with the Death Prophet ban, probably the best mid laner to deal with it.
It's not the best Invoker game, but it's still a super strong hero and can be utilized in almost every matchup.
Do you feel like the Invoker right now is still exploitable, given the fact that NewBee still has 3 picks left? You can pick something like a PL or maybe even a TA.
Yeah, I mean, you have to pick something, right? Like you can't just sit there and hide all your picks. So
yeah.
Invokers are pretty safe. You can go either way. You can play. I've seen Miracle play both Quaswex and Exort, so he'll be able to make a decision based on what the team needs and based on what NewBee picks.
Yeah, NewBee's still a lot of holes to fill here. Don't really have anyone to take objectives. They are dire side. They have really good initiation, but more pickoffs, more ganks for them.
That's good. That's their comfort zone. Chuan on Disruptor or Lion.
Yeah, so they have 3 heroes that can just take over the game, make plays all over the map. A lot of nuke damage as well.
Just worried about that safe lane. Disruptor is a pretty decent hero, but he isn't necessarily the strongest.
So the CM is back. They used this in the very first game that they played at Epicenter against NewBee and won with it as well. On that occasion, they paired it with a Tusk, but that was also Invoker Beastmaster. So
yeah, they ran it once here as well against Empire. That game, Miracle was on the Juggernaut. Kind of an old school lane combo, though. Normally the CM does start in the woods.
Well, they do go for the Spectre this time, Paul.
All right.
It's going to be a messy, dire safe lane. Yeah. Somebody's going to come out ahead. Hopefully it's...
Yeah. This has a lot of rings of Epicenter about it in terms of the way that they're matching up against each other.
That snap ban on Darkseer, so good in this draft.
Because that was the obvious next one as well. That's actually what they pulled out of Epicenter.
Surge on the Bat Rider, just really good at finding the Spectre early kills and snowballing.
Sorry, they could do Bat mid. Bat does match up relatively well against Invoker in the mid lane.
So how much do you think OG are going to be able to exploit the Spectre pick?
I think a decent amount. Like you said, right? Beastmaster, Elder Titan.
It's going to be close. I mean, it's going to, like, you're going to see both these heroes at, like, both sides very low HP, and one's going to come out ahead, and we're going to have to wait and see. It's going to be totally based on execution between the players.
And there's really no, like, defensive supports per se here. So
they could,
maybe you can glimpse someone back, but
they could pick Furion for offlane, and that could allow them to almost like quad lane the safe lane and kind of abuse this dueling offlane from OG.
It's also has global synergy with the Spectre.
Sure.
And to some extent, the Bat Rider as well.
Yeah.
Any chance of like a Brood or?
I don't think Brood. I think Tide is the other option that I really, really like for them.
Alchemist. Oh.
Yikes.
Ooh, okay. Well, late game secured.
Yeah.
If they get there.
Well, and here's the funny thing. Past 40 minutes, Alchemist has actually lost far more in this competition than he has before 40 minutes. Much higher win rate, 60% before 40 minutes. So
with a Spectre and Bat, though, if you get that late, you're probably okay.
This is incredibly greedy out of NewBee.
Does OG punish now?
It's all about that safe lane. Securing your safe lane is so important for Dota, and especially for a hero like Spectre.
They go with the like.
Oh, objective gaming.
Okay. This is going to be fun. Game 3, Charlie, which way has it gone in favor of the draft?
I like OG's draft. I feel like there's the Alchemist pick is incredibly greedy, and on top of a Spectre as well, it's going to be really difficult for NewBee to take those early game team fights.
Okay, Peter?
I'll take OG. Beastmaster's really broken right now.
Okay.
I think NewBee are a little greedy here, but I have a lot of faith in the support play of the Earth Spirit, especially Kaka is amazing on the hero, and Spectre comes online surprisingly early with the Haunt, if not contested, so I'm going to say NewBee.
Okay. Thank you very much to all three panelists. We will get their final thoughts, of course, at the end of the series, because this is it. It's 1-1. Who goes to the grand final? Let's find out with that commentary team, led by Odie Pixel.
Thank you very much, Paul. Indeed, game 3 now between OG and NewBee. Both teams just that one potential game away from securing themselves a slot in the grand final. Are you ready, gods?
I'm ready. This is hype.
It's going to be incredibly hype, and without any further ado, let's get ourselves into the action.
OG versus NewBee.
Here we have it, guys. It looks like, unfortunately, a little bit of a pause, but this will give us some time for you to break down the draft. What are you liking from these two sides? Are you liking the greed from NewBee?
I'm skeptical, but they've gotten away with this. The Spectre, as much as it's talked about always as being that greedy pick, it's the safe go-to. This is NewBee saying, we want to put Hao on one of his signature heroes. In China, he's called Chop Hand Hao because he once made a promise he would chop his hand off if he lost, if his captain picked him Spectre. And he won that game, needless to say. So this is something Hao will often just tell his captain, like, pick me Spectre, I'm feeling it, it's going to get us a win. And with a Batrider, there's a lot of potential to get aggressive. Once you have that fast Blink Dagger up on KP, I don't think we'll be seeing that kind of drums build we had last game. You want to get the fast Blink, have the Blink Lasso followed up with the Spectre Horn. So NewBee can be aggressive with that. But on the side of OG, you've got very strong lanes. Beastmaster, incredibly strong hero, gets online incredibly fast, farms fast in the jungle with Iron Talon, and they can disrupt the lanes with this ET very effectively.
And considering the two drafts as well, because of the way that OG's drafted, you imagine that these guys, they're going to want to close this game down by a certain period, aren't they? They do not want to take this late against NewBee's lineup.
Yeah, they have some potential with the Invoker to start scale. If they're out farming their opponents, they can just play the Starvation game where it's like, well, we're up by a big margin here. We're not going to risk going for a high ground push and just try and out farm you. But realistically, by 30 minutes, they want to be ahead by like 5-10k gold and taking most of the outer towers. They don't want to just be going late on even terms.
Indeed. Well, both runes. It looks like it's going to be both sides going towards the opposite edges. There will be a warp down from NewBee. A lot of pings coming out, so we'll see if OG were able to catch that off. So Moo, he's going to get the space to secure himself the bounty rune on the Alchemist. And so the lane matchups, as you said, overall, OG have some very strong laners. Of course, the fact that they did get that Beastmaster through for Moon, a hero that's more than often just been banned out in pretty much each and every series if the teams are indeed afraid of it. But the mid lane matchup, Miracle against Moo's Alchemist, how do you expect to see this one go?
It's an okay matchup for Alchemist as far as mid matchups go. Like, you're not as at risk of dying to a gank as maybe a Death Prophet or something, but realistically, both these two mid laners should get a decent amount of farm.
And Moon, of course, making the decision that we see a lot of people do once they get their hands on the beast, just ignoring the top lane totally. Oh, and they found the roll in as well. KP, can he survive through this? The Fairy Fire will by himself sometime, but the strike, it cancels the sound. One more punch from No-Tail and they'll find themselves first blood, OG.
Crit just walks up with boots first, hits a stomp on the Batrider, and KP's just there shaking his head wait, what just actually happened? And what a way to start things off for OG. Miracle taking a lot of damage at mid, but has the extra Iron Branch, which he was already planning on chewing up with his Tango. Against the Alchemist, you do need a decent amount of regen because of the Acid Spray damage.
Absolutely, but as you said, in terms of ganks, it's necessarily not going to come in until we start to see rotations from Kaka's Earth Spirit.
The good news is for NewBee, they get this free lane for Hao. OG could have gone for the risky setup by running the dual lane top with Beastmaster and ET, but that makes your lanes very volatile and you don't shut down the Batrider. So as a result, OG take the safer approach, jungle the Beastmaster, run a tri-lane. They're looking to win both mid lane as well as the jungle effectively.
There we have it again. They're going to go for the setup. There's the stomp, and Angfly to get himself close. Not quite close enough though. KP will be able to keep himself distanced away from OG's aggression. And does of course still have, as you said, that backup of Kaka constantly waiting just to make sure that OG don't go too aggressive underneath their tower.
The Howl used as well, and that's a very important spell when they want to go in for those kills. So they're going to wait another 30 seconds before they have it again. Moo farming mid gets another bounty rune, so he's a happy camper. And the really efficient thing NewBee are doing is with their dual lane up top, they're not really sharing the XP that much. Chuan is prioritizing just using the pull camps, giving Hao the solo XP, because they want to get Hao level 6 as early as possible so he can start getting aggressive on the map using Haunt.
Absolutely. In bottom lane, KP starting to move in. Kaka as well is there. Going to be able to find an opening to go aggressive. I mean, obviously the way that OG's chosen to play this, as we've been talking about, giving Hao all that room on the top lane, is that just the best way to do it? Is there just no way that you can send a Beastmaster into this lane with the two heroes up there at the moment on NewBee?
Not alone. He can go up there alone and be a little bit disruptive, but OG are playing the greedier approach, which is Moon free farming the jungle. So they're prioritizing getting him a faster level 6 and saying, hey, we can fight a farm Spectre or a free farm Spectre if we have a fast level 6 and a tempo control in the form of Beastmaster. Moon comes online faster by taking this greedy approach.
Again, Crit just trying to zone out these two heroes from NewBee on this bottom lane, create the space for N0tail. At the moment, everyone farming pretty well, as we can see, across the last hits. No one falling immensely behind during this laning stage, as it seems.
It is the off lane for NewBee where they've camped the Earth Spirit, where they haven't actually, despite having two heroes down here, the Batrider not doing well at all. So that's something where NewBee are already saying, okay, this bottom lane's not working, let's rotate Earth Spirit off the lane. You can't really go top, no one's actually up there, but he can just start stacking jungle camps for the Batrider to fall back and farm, and I think that's maybe Kaka's best approach right now is to spend a lot of time missing from the map, stacking jungle camps, or either for the Alchemist or the Bat, while kind of imposing himself on this mid lane, because there is that threat of a rolling boulder on an Invoker with a Spectre Haunt once level 6 comes online.
Miracle is playing incredibly aggressive here. The Sunstrike will be duked out as Moo. Playing around it, turns back and forcing Miracle away, and as we could see, just how close this matchup is between Moo on the Alchemist and Miracle on his Invoker.
Another bounty rune for Moo.
This is going in for the one. Kaka tries to catch out Miracle. Now Kaka is incredibly deep, and there is a rotation across from Moon on the Beastmaster. Kaka needs to be careful, drops down a cheeky ward, and he'll go for the TP out. Cancels the TP here, and this is going to pretty much cost him his life as Crit's rotated through as well, and Kaka gives his life up there to Miracle on the Invoker.
I'm not sure if that was an intentional TP cancel or not. He didn't need to go for that. And as a result, this is another kill going the way of OG here in the early game. Spectre, though, has hit level 6 with phase boots. Hao ideally would like to finish his urn before he goes for that first Haunt gank, but if given an opportunity for a kill on someone like Miracle, we will be seeing that early Haunt. He can just get the kill, then instantly TP back top to keep farming. And it looks like that's the play they're going to make. The roll-in coming from Kaka.
Miracle needs to be careful on this one. Immediately, as you said, the reaction is there. Miracle, he is not going to have the backup that he would require to survive. Kill for NewBee as they take it down, and as you said, how perfect involvement straight away as that Haunt comes online.
Yeah, he's going to miss very little from his lane with that Haunt. Maybe misses 3 CS or something at most, and it theoretically could even give the lane to Chuan if he wanted to spend a bit more time getting active on the map, but looks like the plan is just to return top, finish off his urn. Moo's going to head to the jungle for a little bit, and they're kind of spreading the XP around. They recognize that Kaka's a bit slow in his level 6. Alchemist can take the jungle, so they're going to maximize their efficiency here early on, but N0tail's, his response to this is to pressure and push this bottom lane.
Bottom lane just forcing Tron back with the wolves of N0tail and Fly. Just to get that pressure onto this tier 1 down bottom.
Moon's level 6 though, has rotated top with a roar.
See what they can find with the setup, the movement as well. Crit's got the follow through stomp, and Hao in a lot of trouble here.
Might survive just barely. Oh,
bit of an awkward movement here from Hao. And Moon and Crit, they'll continue to chase it. Spirit up again in a second, and Hao could be in a lot of problems here. He's trapped up right against the wall, and the stomp from Crit takes it. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they do lose N0tail as KP comes in aggressive with Kaka. But that was an awkward Spectre death.
He fumbled the dagger a bit, it looked like, trying to get over the trees. He could have...
Oh, KP! Fly! Walks in and takes it down with the help of N0tail, getting kills from the grave.
Yeah, how's Death there the one that, once he survives the roar, you should just be able to dagger over the trees and TP out, and OG weren't even chasing him. They accepted, like, oh, we didn't get the kill. How's escaped to the trees, and then How's like, oh, wait, I'm not actually over the trees. I'm going to come back out, and gives himself away. That's a very big kill for OG to get, one that How perhaps should not have given them.
There's a couple of awkward plays there from NewBee, and OG, of course, quick to punish it. Crit trying to do his best to hinder the farm of Moo as he begins to clean up some of these stacks with the Alchemist.
Steals a couple CS and will also snipe the bounty rune, so anything to delay an Alchemist Radiant is always going to go a long way. But this is still an out top of the net worth chart by a decent margin. Hasn't been really ganked or pressured yet, and he's been able to rotate to the jungle, giving Kaka that mid lane. Looks like both teams going to give their full position, their playmakers that mid lane for now, trying to get those, let's say, early level 6s. We'll see if ET actually levels up the Earth Splitter or not.
An interesting warding from the side of NewBee on that high ground. A ward for each eye, by the looks of it. Moon.
You can see the pressure's getting to players. This is a Game 3 decider. Winner goes through to the Grand Finals.
You've got to keep your cool. You really, really do. Mid lane, OG maybe looking to put a bit of action onto Kaka, forcing him back with the Spirit. 4 heroes moving in. NoTel on the sidelines with an Invis rune.
The shapeshift ready to go, but
it's a good scan as well there. NewBee, they know that someone's there in the side.
If they want to defend this, they need to bring a lot of heroes, and Alchemist not really the most fight-ready hero, but can drop an acid spray just to try and defend it.
I mean, this is the one thing that NoTel doesn't have any initial lockdown. He needs someone from OG to come in and close the gap. NoTel, as soon as the fortification's used, just moves in. And we'll be able to push down and take away the tier 1 from NewBee. More money into the pockets of OG. Miracle closing in to that Midas, just a couple of 100 gold away from the recipe now.
The trade for this is really just some farm on KP's Batrider, who needs to find an early Blink Dagger. Despite having Haunt up, NewBee do not want to fight into the summons with the Invoker and Lycan both grouped up around this mid lane. There's so much physical damage. You're looking at Forge Spirits as well as Lycan Wolves, Howl, as well as the Inner Beast Aura from a Beastmaster.
Yeah, this smoke onto Moo. We'll see if it's going to be successful from OG. Moon
backs off just in time.
Moo playing incredibly carefully here.
And you
can't
can
afford to be picked on.
You can see, like, from the dire vision, they're planning 2 wards to protect their jungle. Well, 3 if you can count the one that's stacked on top. They're centering up as well. They've got sentries all over, trying to deny vision from OG. They know that OG is going to try and go for those kills and aggressive early smokes to find pickoffs on Alchemist, on the Spectre, and they're just trying to protect themselves.
NoTel as well, just finding the lanes where he can. TP's away from bottom, moves up towards the top to maybe contest a bit the farm of How. How has got that Haunt ready if NewBee are able to kick anything off. And we did see a 2-man smoke from NewBee, making this movement from the bottom half of the map towards the top. Might be able to get a bit of a wrapparound here onto the movement of OG, but OG, their movement's big and they have 4 at the moment on this top lane, just grouping up and pushing down these early towers.
The important thing for OG is to remain grouped up. This basically takes Spectre out of the early game. Spectre wants the opponent to be farming multiple lanes at once, and then you can use Haunt for pickoffs, but you can't Haunt into 4 or 5 heroes who are grouped up, so OG's play is very much designed to prevent Hal Spectre from playing aggressively. He can play this more farm-oriented style, but NewBee can't defend towers with a Spectre. That's just the nature of their draft. You look at what OG have got to push with. Not just, they've got summons from 3 different heroes, all amplified by the Inner Beast Aura. They've got tons of sustain from the Arcane Aura of the Crystal Maiden, and they're just pushing down tower after tower. No response in sight from NewBee, and they don't have the initiation of a Batrider Blink Dagger for some time as well, so very difficult for NewBee to stop this push.
I'm going to try for something here though. This smoke from NewBee, the line's being drawn, they're looking for the perfect angle from the sidelines. They need some sort of lead in, either from KP or Kaka. He's going to go for the firefly over the tree line, but immediately he's been spotted out with the Sunstrike, the slows! KP! Caught out across the tree line, and OG maybe looking to move in for more. Until we just head straight towards the tower, Fly with the wraparound, eyes onto Moo. Moon is there as well, Roar's available straight onto Tron. They're looking for the easy kills and they'll take it, disrupt it down. The ult coming through from Crit, and Kaka being beat down upon by NoTel and Crit. The Magnetize is there, but at this point, the damage just isn't enough. Moon cooking up the concoction, but OG, they'll cook up him. Triple kill for Moon on the Beastmaster. As NewBee try for the wraparound, try for the play, but OG, they were more than ready for that one.
And NewBee just have 2 heroes with all the farm who aren't ready to fight. Alchemist, even if he has a Radiance, I mean, you can theoretically farm on this farm. You're still not fight ready. Alchemist needs 3-4 items. He needs to be really far ahead before he's ready to defend Tower Spectre. You can't haunt into 5-man pushes.
Oh, NewBee, they still want to fight here. Tran moving in, has a static storm available, drops it immediately onto Miracle. Is there going to be any kind of save? Doesn't look like it. Kaka rolls in. They'll beat down on the Invoker. Nice stomp from Crit will stop NewBee from chasing down more, finding no tail as such. But still, losing the Invoker there off the back of that one. OG hanging around for a little bit too long.
I mean, for NewBee, you've got to find those pickoffs when OG are split up, and OG perhaps just a moment of lapse where they just kind of split apart as they were backing off. They took the T2 tower, won a fight, and then on the retreat just got a bit greedy trying to get some more farm out.
As we see there from the stats, obviously no tail being involved in a little bit more action, but certainly the GPM lead for this map.
And it's an Alchemist.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard comparison.
Take off like a third of that farm whenever it's an Alchemist, and perhaps have a more accurate representation.
With this invis, he's going to get himself in position behind this tier 1 on the bottom lane where OG are going to start to move in.
OG just need to do what they did up top to this bottom lane now. Yeah. Take 2 towers, force NewBee. You try and smoke into this, it's so difficult. KP has to be the one leading the way, but when his smoke pops, flies position over the trees. He doesn't know where the Crystal Maiden is. The Beastmaster is in fog as well. It's so hard to actually get vision of these heroes, and there's a long-range nuke plus stun from the Elder Titan. The Crystal Maiden gives vision using the Nova. The Roar has a longer range than your Lasso, so KP is just being outranged until he farms up a Blink Dagger, which is still 1,000 gold away. You're not looking at a Blink Dagger anytime soon, and NewBee really need it right now.
I mean, look at all these items coming out for the side of OG. They've got so many tools being added to this push. Coming in with the delivery. Necro books, drums, Vlad's of course all up for the side of OG. They're incredibly strong at this point of the game, and KP getting initiated on the Sunstroke from Miracle. Finishes him off now with the Roar from Moon. They're looking in to move forward for more. The Earth Splitter is going to connect. Yes, it will. Beautiful stops in and catches them out. Kaka's down as well. They get buyback immediately for KP, trying to get himself in the fight. How? He's moved in on this one, but he's got to get himself out of there. NewBee have lost themselves a 3rd hero. And the buyback from KP, unable to do anything apart from just slow down OG's aggression at the least. How might be able to find Fly. Fly, he needs some help. No, he doesn't. He'll hold How off on his own. The dagger's going to miss. Fly going for the TPL. Will he make it? He doesn't. They'll lose the Maiden. But that OG will be incredibly happy with the trade as a whole. 3 kills, forcing out a buyback, and they only lose the Crystal.
Yeah. I like Hal's idea to pick up a drum, recognizing they need to be able to fight now, but they're still in this position where they have no reliable initiation. Disruptor's great at catching and initiating heroes that are retreating, but OG are just sticking together as 5, playing as one cohesive unit, and anytime OG get an initiation, they catch the Batride, even just with a Cold Snap, he's instantly dead. The Forward Spirits plus Sunstrike enough to secure that kill, and KP having to buy back there means it's going to be even longer now before he completes a Blink Dagger. I think if you're a NewBee, you're going to have to just start sacking towers just to get farm on KP. But problem is, it's Alchemist who also needs farm. You can't really split the farm between these 2 heroes. Alch's still trying to get his Radiance, KP needs a Blink Dagger, and there's just not enough farm and space to go around this NewBee side. They've got 3 heroes all competing for it.
Absolutely, and we can see as well, just from the net worth difference at this point. 15 minutes in, I mean, it's because of the towers, because of the objectives they've been able to get. OG, they're 7,500 ahead, and this is against a lineup with an Alchemist. You're going to be incredibly happy with the way that this game's going. You've just got to maintain this control, and as we can see, it is going to level up. If NewBee can manage to create this space for the Alchemist to continue at the rate that Moo's going to look for, it will slow down that gold advantage that OG have created.
And you're looking at this double Necrobook timing where OG likely can take Roshan sometime in the next couple of minutes. Then you're pushing high ground with Aegis as well as Necrobook on both Beastmaster and Lycan. And Invoker Forward Spirits, you've just got this Zoo strategy where there's too many units to deal with. You've got some AoE D-push. If Bat can get in there with a Firefly, which he really can't because he's just going to melt, the Alchemist Acid Spray helps a little bit, but realistically, OG are just going to destroy these buildings in no time at all.
They're going to come in as well with smoke behind, just hanging behind No Tail. Take the tower with the walls alone. NewBee, they do have all the ultimates back up. The Haunts just come available again.
They don't need to go for any risky high ground push now. They're better off finishing Roche. The Necro 3 of Beastmaster's back at base. No Tail's Necro 2 is a couple hundred gold away, so you may as well get those items delivered while you take Roshan. The thing is, you don't even need these items to secure Roche if you don't want to, but simultaneously, you can also just... NewBee may try feel pressure to contest that Roche. But for OG, they're just kind of maintaining control of this area around the Dire Secret Shop, knowing that if NewBee come anywhere near this Roche pit, they will be picked off, and NewBee's response is very much just to play keep away.
KP. He needs to be careful. He's been tracked up here essentially by the walls, keeping tabs of the Bat's location and the whole of OG. Moving on to KP. Can he get himself out of this one? I don't think he can. OG, another pickoff for these boys. 12 for 5 now.
Not just the fact it slows down his Blink Dagger, but that's the dieback from KP, meaning he's dead for 40 plus seconds. Very long respawn time considering you're this early on in the game, and this is time where he needs to be farming for his Blink Dagger, so a huge kill, an easy Roshan off of this. They didn't even have to find that kill to get Roshan, but if they go straight for Roshan, well, KP gets room to farm his Blink, so it's a much better sequence of events for OG, who now find themselves with an Aegis on No-Tail. Potentially they want to wait for their Necrobook cooldown, possibly wait for No-Tail's Necro 3 to be delivered, but every item that's coming out is just kind of like the cherry on top of the cake right now. They've got what they need. It's going to come down to NewBee to make some kind of miraculous hold.
It really is. And with the lead that OG have got, if NewBee do manage to maintain a hold, they're going to get an insane amount of money and experience, but it's not going to be easy at all with the tools that OG have.
I mean, the biggest problem for OG is there's just not enough space on their courier right now. There's so many items they want to deliver, and there's just like no room for everything. The Veil on the crit Earth Spirit, the Necrobook level up, Fly's going to have a Glimmer Cape. NewBee have a lot to answer.
OG, we'll see when they want to try and go up. Veil done on crit. There's a Diffusal Blade picked up on House, so again, just toning up the fight potential that the Spectre has at this stage a little bit more, but the question is it enough? And it really doesn't feel like it against what OG have. They need something spectacular here. NewBee on this defense, and OG, see how hard that they want to go in at the moment.
They can definitely delay things for quite some time, and if there's ever a hero trying to push high ground that tries to back off, you want to try and punish them using the Glimpse. The Glimpse is the ideal way to start a fight for NewBee, but that comes down to OG and how they position. You can't just reliably go for a Glimpse at any given time and expect to start a fight off that way. The Batrider initiation has been taken out of the equation. Even if he somehow finishes a Blink Dagger, he doesn't have a 4-staff, so you blink and you grab one of the lasso, you're instantly either Cold Snap, Roared, Frostbitten, and there's no pullback. So even a Blink Dagger isn't going to solve NewBee's problems.
And OG at this point, I mean, of course, they themselves feeling under no pressure at all. They're just making sure that NewBee are forced back into their base, are unable to find anything from the map at the moment, apart from farm these lanes that are coming in on the bottom and the middle. Level 3 Necro, now done on No-Tail. It really all is there for OG. We've just got to see when they decide to make that call, to try and make that aggressive push up and try and break the base of NewBee.
Yeah, they've got that 3-minute window now with the Aegis, and possibly in the Ag Scepter for Miracle going to be one of the major item pickups that'll happen while they still have the Aegis. I find it very unlikely they'll not go for a high ground attempt with this Aegis, just because of this is one of their lineup's big peaks. They've kind of hit this critical mass with the double Necro 3s, the Aegis. No-Tail, yeah, you can farm up towards that next item, be it the AC or the BKB, but that's going to take some time. That's going to give NewBee a lot of breathing room to play around with to finish more items on Moose Alchemist. So I think your best bet is waiting towards the end of the Aegis and making one all-out push, which is kind of where we're at now with Miracle getting the Aghanim Scepter. I expect OG to really try and force the issue on the high ground with Necrobooks.
Yeah, but they're at least trying to make the most of the fact that with the Spectre how they can still have him farm out in one of the lanes whilst OG keep this pressure on. So just trying to do the best they can with as little as they've been given, NewBee and OG. The Necrobooks out, Hal as well, the pop, the fortification, NewBee. Trying to force back these minions.
There's no acid. They use the acid mid.
Ah, there we have it. Here's the initiation. We're on to Moon. His man has just gone like that. He's gone. Alchemist going to run on the Earth Splitter for Grill. Coming out onto 3. No-Tail moves in. Takes down a second. They may be able to kill the Wolf. No-Tail's got to get himself out of this one. Looks like he's going to live for the time being. They've popped the Aegis. And they managed to kill him again. They're managing to do an incredible defense here, NewBee. They've taken down 2 of them. Miracle at the moment, he's beating down on them on the escape moves, desperately trying to find Invoker, but Crit with the stomp holds them back. Miracle ghost walks himself away from it. The concoction will be there to cancel Crit's TP, and that it is exactly the defense that NewBee needed. Yes, they had some casualties, but you're beating down onto OG, a team that is clearly ahead. You keep your tier 3 alive.
One buyback on an Alchemist, yeah, that hurts, but it's not crippling. NewBee still in this game. The Aegis is down. Tier 3 tower takes a lot of damage, but you've now bought yourself time before that next push comes, theoretically. OG may just to say, let's go all out. They've just used our buyback. Let's do this without an Aegis, but NewBee have held the first big scary push. Blade Mail, I love this pickup from How. I think recognizing he needs to go more fighting items that are going to help now against an Exort Invoker, this item can do a ton of work, and How in that fight just did huge amounts of damage off of the Horde. This Diffusal fighting build that he's gone for has been very effective. NewBee, they're not out of this one just yet.
I mean, all things said and done, How 413. Looking at the net worth as well, the fact that he's only just over 1K behind such as Miracle and Notel in a game where they're on a side, OG, of course, that have taken down all of your outer towers. So to have that small amount of net worth difference on the kind of the receiving end of this aggression, that's great for How.
Oh yeah, How is very much in a really good, all it's going to take is one convincing teamfight performance from NewBee, and suddenly How's going to be out-farming those two core heroes. And I think OG recognize they've got to pick and choose their moments. They're trying to smoke up so they can fight with an initiation of their own, and rather than brute force the high ground, that kind of sets NewBee up to have the positioning advantage. Finding a pick off first is a much better way to approach the fight, and Moo scattered out here.
If they can catch this Alchemist, he'll get off the Chemical Rage. Crit immediately laying down the Earthsplit in the burst! Oh! Moo's gone for 80 seconds.
This may be it. That's the pickoff you needed. That's why you go for that smoke play, and now OG gonna really test NewBee.
This really is an incredibly bad situation for NewBee to find themselves in. The tier 3 bottom will be taken down. Could this be the opening for OG to just do a serious amount of damage to the base at the least?
I think they have to, give up both bottom racks here. Make your defense in mid. It's still going to be without an Alchemist.
This push, Forge Spirits, double level 3 Necros, and the walls are out. I mean, this just melts the defenses of NewBee. 40 seconds, still the Alchemist is back.
Still enough time to get at least a tier 3.
They're trying to jump him with an initiation, grab out Miracle, the Static Storm as well, but immediately the reaction. Can OG fight back into this one? How moves forward, Miracle's got it back up, the Magnetize doing a fair bit to OG, the Glimpse as well. Miracle in a spot of bomb, he's down. They will lose How for this though. How has a buyback, gets himself immediately back in the fight. Kako with a 2-man stoner holding Flying Moon to the sidelines, the kinetic field causing issues for OG. They have to be careful about this one, but Notel, he just waltzes in, slaps down onto one of them now. NewBee with 3 out, but Notel, he could lose his life in the end, ticking him down. How? He's going to survive. It's a triple kill for the Spectre. They need to kill this man. Oh, the Surge Strike. It doesn't hit. The Storm, it will. The walls, they've done it. How's down. That's a dead Spectre for 80 seconds.
Miracle still has to back off. He bought back as well, but NewBee have suddenly found themselves without a Spectre. Don't think they'll lose the mid racks off of this, but boy, is that costly.
How are NewBee holding this? This is insane.
It's with How. That's exactly how they are doing it. This Blade Mail did so much damage in that team fight. He had to buy back though, and again, NewBee are in this spot where all it's going to take at this point is one more pickoff on either the Alk or the Spectre, neither of which have buyback for almost 3 minutes apiece.
That's going to be game, potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is getting into a tricky position. Yes, they're holding, but still OG, definitely the people here with the lead. Each and every time managing to whittle down the base of NewBee.
And OG can kind of force it. The BKB on Notel means he can just go up to the high ground with this. Moon blinks up.
Jumps in, looks for
Doesn't
the person
roar.
who wants to jump up. But KP, immediately reacts onto Moon with the lasso, drags him back. The Static Storm's out and Moon's gone. Didn't get the chance to get the roar out. A bit of an awkward initiation from the Beast, and now Fly being glimpsed back as well. NewBee, they'll take themselves a double kill for Moon for free, and OG maybe losing their cool a bit here.
Yeah, Moon blinked up, had at least, I want to say, like, second window to throw the roar on the Alchemist. Perhaps decided Alchemist wasn't the ideal target, and instead just waited too long and let himself get lassoed there, so.
Moo really racking up the gold now. Octarine picked up. I mean, it is going to get to that stage, of course. If he's able to find the Mansa soon after that, they can push these lanes back out, and the game will continue to get harder for OG.
And at this point, I think How just wants to take up even further on his Spectre, go for either like a casual Vit booster or pick up the pieces to start working on a Manta style. Does not feel like, you've already got one Radiance, you don't need a second, and more importantly, the Blade Mail, you're going to get maximum value out of this item the more HP you have. This gem going to help a lot. These Lycan Wolves have constantly scouted out the NewBee heroes. That's what got them that lane of racks, finding the Alchemist with the scouting potential of Notetail's Wolves. see them continue to just keep vision of these newbie heroes.
I mean, with OG and the draft that they have, do you need to keep just throwing yourselves in at these pushes, or are you looking towards any kind of next key major item builds that you can pick up to add to the potential of your pushing power?
I think the next subsequent BKBs, most importantly Miracle's one, as well as the next Aegis. Roche has respawned very quickly here, so if OG can get themselves in the pit, take Rosham without NewBee contesting it, suddenly you're pushing higher ground with Invoker, BKB, and another Aegis. That's when things get really difficult for NewBee. The good news for NewBee is Alchemist buyback will be back up in 30 seconds time. Spectre's though still on corner, and he has picked up just the casual Vit booster.
Here we have it as well. NewBee, after having their backs forced against the wall, they want to try and move out the base by the looks of it with the smoke.
I mean, instantly Moo just attacks out of it. I think they realized Roche is not going down, so they decide, okay, let's not smoke towards the pit just yet.
OG looking for a smoke themselves. As you said, this is still at the point where Miracle is yet to finish off his BKB.
And this is OG trying to kind of bait NewBee into thinking they're Roshing by waiting on this high ground where if you're NewBee and you're trying to contest Roche, you kind of run towards Roche right up this ramp and then you often get caught. But NewBee not going to take the bait. If anything, they're just saying, look, let's settle down, let's wait and just defend high ground. Even against an Aegis, they have an Alchemist with a buyback, potentially Spectre buyback if given enough time, although it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. They may still have a chance of defending this OG push.
Absolutely. There we have it, OG adding to their push with the Aegis. And they have it straight onto Miracle. It's going to get only harder and harder for NewBee next time around in defense, but as we saw, they've been able to hold. The first time they did hold, it was also against an Aegis push.
I like that Moo's going for this BKB. It allows him to take out the Necrobooks and the summons in the front lines. He can just pop the Acid Spray down, Chemical Rage, and attack the Necrobooks without worrying about the damage he's going to take. And even if he gets rawed, they're very reliant on the nuke damage coming out from the Earth Splitter, coming out from the Invoker to actually kill an Alchemist. So as long as he's got his BKB off, Moo will be able to survive the burst damage while rawed.
This, of course, going to be very nice. Well, the fact that Moon opting towards building into that hood into the inevitable pipe, going to be very nice against the defense of being caught out by Static Storm or of course, the Magnetize as well from Kaka.
Yeah, it looks like OG have decided they'll wait out the BKB on Miracle, knowing they've got this decent timing with Aegis. They've got 4 minutes left on Aegis, but the longer you wait, the more likely Spectre is to have buyback. 1:45 before Spec has buyback. Timer you've got to imagine OG are wary of and maybe looking to beat. And if they want to beat that timer, they've got to go very soon. Spectre's one of the best heroes to have buyback on when you are defending your high ground. So OG, I don't think they want to wait around too much longer.
Looks like they're going to send a couple up towards the top lane, try and get the pressure in on both top and mid at the same time here, OG. As it's actually been indicated, there's a bit of a drawing here from Tron. Looks like maybe indicating a wrapping around from outside the base, but for the time being, NewBee at least will stand strong mid.
KP's just trying to bait out some spells, it looks like. Oh, they split the Sunstroke. Well, tried to split the Sunstroke damage. KP completely dodges it, but if KP can bait out spells on the front line like a Roar, he has buyback. So he's kind of, well, he's going to commit to the 4-staff now since that's probably better than the buyback, but...
Yeah, Miracle. Bringing equity on and start to chip away at the racks. There'll be a fortification. The minions coming through as well. Let's see how NewBee can hold this one. Moose just lost the Chemical Rage, but with the Octarina will be back online incredibly shortly. No-Tail plus the BKB, the ult as well, trying to move in. There's a lasso controlling Miracle. Can they bring down this Invoker? No, because he's got the BKB out in time. Now turns, drops out the Meteor. How coming in with the Horn. OG just being helped out for the time being. No-Tail actually coming into the middle of it all. Magnetizes down. No-Tail falling low. Earth Splitter. It will catch out Tron on the back line. They're incredibly low, NewBee, but they move in. They're going to take down Miracle. He's got the Aegis back for round 2. Fly. Will he fall? Yes, he will. They'll lose the Crystal Maiden. Miracle now back into this one. At the same time, they have lost Kaka on the Earth Spirit. Fly pays with his life as well. They're at the moment dealing with the side of OG. KP going to get away only just a Miracle getting punched down by the Alchemist again. NewBee, they will manage to find the favorable trade in terms of kills, but this time around they did lose to the racks in the mid lane.
Yeah, melee racks is still the objective that OG were coming for. It does, again, increase that window that NewBee have to complete those next essential items, be it on Moo's Alchemist or the Spectre of How, and still a very dangerous position to be in for OG. Then still going to be sweating a little bit as that came at very heavy costs, and Spectre, the later this goes, is just going to get scary and scary, and Moo's going to get harder to deal with as he picks up a plate mail, so potential Shivers guard, yeah, it goes for the Shivers, not the AC. I don't really like as much as the Shivers. This is just more AoE wave clear, and it's so much summons and units that are spawning out of OG's side that having that attack speed slow is going to go a long way.
And now, I mean, for what seems the first time in a while, NewBee getting the coverage, kind of courage up to move on to OG's half of the map. Start to push down the middle, and should be able to finish off this tier 1 crit. Just trying to slow down it with the stomp from the Spirit, but NewBee managed to take the second tier 1 of the game 32 minutes in. It took them a while, but the fact that NewBee now are at a position where they feel strong enough to do this and come across to OG's half of the map, it's got to kind of show warnings for OG.
Yeah, it's still OG, not so much in the driver's seat, but with the advantage. Anytime you're up 3 racks 32 minutes in, we kind of talked about looking at their draft. 30 minutes in is when they want to be in clear control, pushing higher ground or with racks advantage, and they are in that position, but they haven't completely shut NewBee out just yet. NewBee still have plenty of comeback potential out of their lineup. The team fight from House Spectre, the Alchemist getting more and more farm, has kind of reached that 6 slot. I'd say could replace the Armlet with something a bit bigger and better, but NewBee right now have a very scary team fight.
Absolutely, and wow, they're actually going to go for a smoke out here, NewBee.
I mean, they recognize they want to fight now. There's no Aegis this time around. If they're the ones getting the jump, leading the way with a Batrider, they can take fights, but not going to instantly find anything. And the Lycan Wolves again, scouting deep. How we'll see them and pop out a smoke, which gets, there's an immediate ping from Lycan, which I think says, like, hey, How just suddenly appeared out of nowhere. He's either invis or he has a smoke, so OG, you can see they're grouped up as 5 on their high ground, behind the tier 2 tower even. They're well aware that that was a smoke out from NewBee.
Indeed, NewBee, maybe just eyes on to pushing out the top. Line's going to get drawn to come immediately back towards the mid, potentially.
I mean, How himself is a bit scared that he's being ganked right now, because you see 5 heroes missing from OG. You don't know where they are. Just so happens that they're deep on the OG side of the map.
And the thing is, as well, of course, once it gets to that point, there's some brilliant Aghanims to come out on the side of NewBee if Mu wants to start building stack. Getting an Axe on the Earth Spirit, getting an Axe on, of course, Chuan's Disruptor. Because of the BKBs on OG, it's going to be brilliant if he can get the Static Storm catch.
I think Chuan may be the difference maker if you can get him an Ag Scepter. He may be priority #1 just because of the ability to take out most, I'd say even Miracle's BKB is the #1 priority. But be able to jump on him and prevent a BKB out would be huge. But still have to get to that point. Right now, Alchemist obviously going to be saving for buyback. Potentially wants to maybe get one more item himself before starting to pull those Aghanim Scepters. And you know you've got room to farm. OG unlikely to go for any kind of a high ground push until they have another Aegis, which isn't going to come for a couple minutes time. If anything, NewBee may be looking to set up to try and contest that next Roshan if they can keep these lanes pushed out.
Absolutely, they're certainly in a better shape to do so. And as you know, the time ticks on. Buyback status is the fact that, both How and Mu do have a buyback, so they've even got that kind of blanket to fall back on if they do try and go for an Aegis fight.
Oh yeah, and a Spectre buyback for a Roche fight is the insta-TP back. Miracle is the same thing. He's got Boots of Travel, so in theory, that with all the summons floating around, there's going to be some target you can TP on around the Roshan pit. So it is very reliable for OG to be able to buy back on not just Miracle, but also Moon on the Beastmaster. He's got Boots of Travel. No Tail very likely to pick up some Boots of Travel next is his pickup. Dire Courier gets sniped. A bit annoying for NewBee, but not the end of the world.
Didn't have anything on at the time being, so nothing of any value was lost.
Might have been flying out to pick up a point booster for Moo's first Ag Scepter. So it is potentially something pesky.
Yeah, I guess that makes a bit of an awkward situation in terms of putting the items together. Yeah, I mean with the amount of money, it could have. Yeah, it could have indeed been that. So
he needs the courier really to get that point booster. He can't really just walk there by himself as a hero to pick it up. So could actually slow down an Aghanim to pick up, but at the same time, again, as I said, OG unlikely to be making any kind of a high ground push.
I don't know. They're grouping up as 5 in NewBee's jungle.
For OG, you've got to find that pick off first. So however you try and find that initiation may have to come later on from like Miracle farming up like a Scythe of Vice, or the Beastmaster Blink Roar obviously being the very reliable one, but without a pick-off, pushing is very difficult and scary.
NewBee really just kind of flexing the muscles here as they just come down the mid lane. 4 of them there, ready to back up Mu if he gets jumped on, and of course, as you said, just OG, just giving NewBee a huge amount of respect after the last few messy pushes that OG have tried for and failed on. 30 seconds till Roshan. That, as we've been building up to, is going to be the next major point of contention for both of these sides.
OG do have the vision advantage. That's always something to take into consideration. They've got Hawk, Boars, Summons, Forward Spirits. Like, 3 of their heroes have summons that can go out to scout. Even if these summons can be instantly killed by NewBee, it's still vision that reveals where they are on the map. So it does become very difficult for NewBee to go into that Roshan, and even to find pickoffs. OG are always going to be scouting them out. Nice Radiant scan does find NewBee, but again, not sure if that means OG can actually initiate in.
Crit, Fly, Moon, standing strong, top of the stairs.
7k gold on Alchemist. I feel like this has to be an ag scepter with how much money he's saving up. But it's where that courier snipe does come into play. 50 seconds without a courier.
Move, watching up here. They've got the vision, OG. Yeah, they want to go. We're on to Moo. Here we go. They immediately getting forced out. It's a good save. They'll still try and chase it, but Moo gets the chance to BKB. Turns around. BKB's a come out for Fly. Miracle and No-Tail. No-Tail already trying to chase down the backliners of NewBee. Moo is going to ward this one off, but Kaka rolling in. Fly ticking down low. Kaka pops out the dust, allowing Moo to chase down. Look to go onto Miracle, but NewBee, they've already lost 2. They will find the kill onto Miracle. 2 for 1 at the moment, but now No-Tail turns his attention towards Moo. Moo's going to try and run himself away. How? Pops the diffuse onto Moo, but he gets held back by the storm. They'll turn. Can they get moved? They do. Now they look to No-Tail. NewBee. They'll take him down as well. They're going to get him, but Miracle with a buyback. Boxing in. Combo dropped onto How. The ice wall. The controls there. Miracle is going to do it. Takes down How as well as a team wipe. The buyback starts to come out from NewBee. Moo bringing himself back into the game, but it's just going to be to defend. They've got no way of getting themselves back in the fight there. That buyback there from Miracle allowing them to find that big Spectre kill at the end of it and forcing the Alchemist to buy back.
Yeah, buyback on move for Miracle. Slightly advantageous fight for OG. Doesn't get them instantly into the Roshan pit, but they may still be heading there soon. Beastmaster's respawn will have boots of travel, so he can get to the pit, but still no Lycan for this. And scarily, How's Spectre will respawn with Horn. If they can somehow delay the Roshan until How's back alive, NewBee could try and contest it, but I think given the fact that Moo doesn't have buyback, any kind of movement out towards the pit is unlikely.
This game is certainly panning out to be the game 3 that we hoped between these two sides. Both start to move in towards the pit, trying to look to see if we can kind of find any kind of catch here with a glimpse Static Storm.
Spectre, Horn in 20, or back alive in 20. This is so dangerous for OG, and they know it.
They've got to be so careful here, the Spirit at the moment.
Again, the scouting capabilities of this draft, the summons from 3 heroes, the Spirit from the Elder Titan, just making it so difficult for NewBee to initiate or punish OG. And this is with NewBee having the glimpse catch.
Look at this as well from OG. Realizing that NewBee are hanging around, they're going to look for wraparound. Interesting purchase, but Butterfly, in fact, is going to be the investment here for the Alchemist.
NewBee have fully committed to these items. Spectre doesn't have buyback, but has a Manta.
Oh no! He's roared an ancient! Oh! Not the initiation he wanted, and now with the Horn, NewBee maybe questioning if they want to try and go in on this one. How he'll jump in. With the upgraded bots from Moo, he's going to look to bring him back up. The Alchemist turning up as well now. And OG, got to be careful. They've got to hold their composure. Looks like they will, so NewBee won't find anything here for the time being.
And they're hiding under this tier 1 tower.
NewBee.
Moon just taunting with that boots of travel onto the wolf, it looks like.
Well, they won't get it. The KP's got to be careful. The Forge Spirit's ripping through him.
KP's kind of taking out the fight. The Forge Spirit's just constantly disabling his blink. And I think NewBee need to disengage here. He try to find a way to do so without getting caught.
They're looking to back up now.
OG recognize this. They will go on the chase.
Yeah, and the Stomp it will catch out Moo, get forced back.
Good defensive play. It looks like Moo will make it out alive. Without the Raw, OG just lacking that little bit of catch. And back in the Roshan pit we go.
It's a good time to go.
Yep.
Haunt down for pretty much a minute.
Spectre will have buyback in 500 gold, which is quite likely he farms that in a team fight. All it takes is 1 kill for him, and he's got it back up.
They're still scared, OG. Haunt or not. They still respect the power of NewBee. Raw's back available.
This standoff around the pit, things are just so tense here, Owen.
Both teams just incredibly careful at this stage, and understandably so. The amount that the kind of it weighs on this game. The winner of this, getting into the grand finals, you secure yourselves at least $405,000 prize.
Constant.
Right. This is where this has been NewBee's biggest plague, is just the summon scouting things out. OG don't mind throwing away a bit of gold here and there to guarantee these perfect initiations.
And this thing as well, I mean, OG starting to come in a bit more confident, but at this point, one's going to be back online. Because fear now for Miracle, so he's going to be a lot harder to deal with. If he can get off that BKB, NewBee can't really control him.
The lasso target may just have to start becoming the Lycan of No-Tail. He hasn't even got buyback with this Basher pickup. Something NewBee aren't aware of, but could come into play. Another big problem for NewBee is they don't actually have a gem. They're entirely reliant on sentry wards right now. They could buy one. I feel like investing in a gem against Lycan Wolves is always going to pay off.
Moon's picked up the Ags. We'll see which way it goes. I would imagine it is going to be towards Tron on his Disruptor, as you suggested.
KP, it's like okay, but yeah, Tron's standing right next to him. Tron's like, look, I've made some huge plays this tournament.
Yeah, if he hits the Static Storm now in this fight, it's going to be absolutely huge. If he can get that off onto Miracle before the BKB comes out, they can certainly kill that Invoker. A lot of this on Tron's setup at this stage. And OG, they've started to just split themselves up across the map. They realize that there is this huge stalemate going on at the moment across the pit, and they just want to make sure that they don't fall behind too much in terms of farm and try and get something across the map.
And that was like the first time we even saw Hero in the top lane for like 10 minutes, it feels like. As Moon pushes out, Miracle now shows up, kind of resorting to some split push. So you've had this 5v5 standoff, nothing came from it for OG. So they're going to mix things up, force NewBee to also change their defense, because suddenly, like, even if it's just Horde Spirits pushing out this top lane, it means NewBee can't remain grouped as 5 as they have been doing. It's going to push them into a scenario where someone's going to be pushing out this top lane, most likely Moo, since he's got the boots to travel level 2 with Octarine. But even just seeing him at top lane perhaps will give a bit of confidence for OG to go in the pit. Problem is, boots to travel level 2 on Moo, Haunt on Hao. These two heroes can instantly get to this Roche pit.
We have KP's going to try for a jump initiation, but the immediate reaction here with the Yules looking for the Stomp, the Roar onto Kaka. Moon's going to TP in. We'll see what they could do here. Throwing out the stone onto Moon. Miracle at the same time, popping the BKB. They've taken down Tron and the Disrupt on the backlines though. How? Kills Crit. Moon in trouble. The Osprey will come out and fly with the ultimate. Takes down How. Moon to fall as well. He's dead for 110 seconds. There's a buyback on How, but now OG, they've got the space to move into the Roshan pit. 3 heroes down on NewBee. OG might have just done it there.
They're all in. They buy back 2 heroes to go for this push. They know the Alchemist buyback timer 50 seconds away.
Oh, this is huge for OG. Aegis picked up
2.5k damage dealt by that Crystal Maiden ultimate. That is Fly coming up big in the late game. Level 3 freezing filled with BKB. They prioritize focusing. They chase Moon a lot with the Alchemist. He'd already used his Roar, and I think NewBee will have some regrets about how they played that team fight.
Well, we have mid lane cleaned out. OG, just one more set of racks that they need to look to take.
Alp won't even have buyback in 20 seconds when it's off cooldown. He's still 70 gold short.
Full minute that they need to hold NewBee. It's going to be a hard defense as well. OG realizing the power, they're just going to start to go full in. Fortification will come out. OG at this point looking in a very comfortable position. How can NewBee stop this? They'll get off the lasso, bringing No-Tail back. They manage to catch him in the Static Storm, so no BKB for the man with the Osprey. Karka's gone! 2 dead! No-Tail pops the BKB now with Miracle. They'll just punch into the racks. Miracle forcing back NewBee to the base. Sunstrike onto Hal. And GG is called! OG will be your first grand finalist here at the Manila Major.
What an amazing game to end this series on. Things were so tense. OG take those early lanes of racks, but by no means was this game in the bag. These guys played their hearts out. They're in the grand final. You can see like the nerves and stress on their face. There's so much relief in this team. They knew this game was their big